Patch 1.2.5 dropped on Thursday, and it contained some massive changes in the game. Some that you want to know, and some that you really need to know, as the mechanics are definitely different. I'm not sure if these mechanics are intended, unintended, a bug. Until we get confirmation from Tailworld, we're going to have to see, but these are subject to change, as Tailworld does not always include all the information in the patch notes. So bear that in mind as we get forward and prepare for all of the information. The last kingdom in a campaign would pay you millions per piece. That was fixed. So no longer will this happen to you where they're paying a huge amount of money, in which then your vassals do not want to declare war on them because they're getting paid so much money. Now it is more in line with where it should be in the game, and your vassals won't be so eager to peace out with them. This next section, I want to put the text up so people understand exactly what is going on, as this can get a little complicated. How prisoners are handled when you enter Fiefs has changed dramatically. This will be for all AI, not including you. You still get to manually do what you want with prisoners. When you enter a town, all regular prisoners are immediately sold, and the party leader gains roguery. That is back. Now, if you go into a castle, the exact same thing happens. Mysteriously, they get sold and they disappear. They are not in the dungeon, but you will gain roguery. So it doesn't matter where you stop at, they're instantly gone with roguery. With that out of the way, let's deal with the bigger issue, and that is lords. Anytime you enter any fief that is owned by you or one of your kingdom members, all prisoners in your army, not including yourself, are put in the dungeon because the prisoners are being sold, the regular prisoners. There is room now in the dungeon for lords. So they are automatically donated to that fief. That includes castles or towns. Why this is important is because if you stop at a town that does not belong to you, you will donate that prisoner to that lord's dungeon. That was not how it was. They held on to lord prisoners, and you had to decide what to do with them, especially in your clan party. Now that is not the case. So if you do have troops or prisoners that are lords that you want to keep, you need to make sure you transfer them to you before you enter a fief. If you enter a fief, all regular prisoners are gone, and the lords are deposited into dungeons. So that is a huge, huge change from the norm. I will segue this into prison break lords. Tailworld says that they fixed a bug that caused nobles to always die when knocked out during a prison break. This was used by people to get lords executed. Now, the problem with this saying is it says nobles to always die. Does that mean now that they have a slight chance of dying like they would on the battlefield, which can be as low as 1 to 2% of the time? That I still do not know yet from my limited testing. If they're just going to be knocked out in a prison break, or do they still have that 1 to 2% chance approximately to die during the prison break? So no longer can you get everybody killed off. Watch out for that. If you know for sure whether or not in 125 that has happened, let me know. When riding, if a troop has 0 skill, the below penalties will apply. These are then reduced and eventually removed when a troop reaches 100 or above riding. Increased reload speed penalty and weapon readying speed penalty from 20 to 30%. Takes longer to reload. Increase the time needed to achieve maximum accuracy by increasing the penalty from 20 to 30%. So it'll take longer for you to hit that perfect target. Here is the big one. Increase the weapon inaccuracy multiplier from 40% to 1,500%, which will significantly widen the crosshair. Now, is that a mistype in what they're saying? To go from 40% to 1,500% is a massive jump. Did they potentially mean 150%? I'm not sure exactly what it is and how bad it's going to be. However, what that means is if you have a troop, you need to get them riding, or else they are going to be terrible with a ranged weapon. So I still don't know what's going on with this, but this is going to show how important it is to get as close to 100 riding as fast as possible, which I believe 100 is when the penalty is gone. The penalty starts at 0 and it's maxed, and then as you move up, the penalty reduces until you get to 100 and it goes away. So getting riding for any troop that uses a ranged weapon is super important. When you take a Fief as a siege leader, you're going to get 3 options. This is where I noticed one massive change, and I don't know how much of this has changed. If you hover over these, it's going to tell you exactly what's going to happen if you choose each of them. I mainly use this because of mercy. If you had a positive mercy and you devastated, and the bottom it would say that you would lose relation with those two because they were merciful lords and you have to pay influence to allow you to be able to do it, but you'll still lose relation. This is, however, where the big change comes in. Before 1.2.5, I did not notice this, but if you show mercy, and it appears from my early testing, this is only to Fiefs that are not of your culture or your kingdom's culture, which I said I'm still not sure of all the details. You will lose 15 party morale. That is normally more than what you're going to get from a lot of these battles. That is something you have to be careful of, as I've gotten down to about 60 morale in taking multiple Fiefs. And it says because your troops are being denied the right to pillage what you're going to do. Party morale change plus 10. But if you do this, you're going to lose a lot of prosperity. Building will be reduced. So you have major decisions to make that you have to think about every time you do this. Watch these when you get done and watch out for your party morale if you are showing mercy like I like to do. You're going to notice new changes to Garrison and Militia. First, Tailworld stated that based on the army strength that some of your troops would get donated. What I noticed is that number is actually down from 1.2.4. When we took this castle, we only were left with 286 that were alive on the battlefield. It didn't donate any. I've had a 1,500-man battle where they've only donated about 20 or 30 troops. They are not donating as much to the garrison as they used to. However, this is where it changes a lot. You'll see that militia already have 132. I believe how it works that once you take a fief, based on the prosperity of the fief, you will instantly get militia. I have seen it go from around 200 to 250 being around 5,000 prosperity to having 7,000 prosperity and having over 300 militia right from the start. I believe it's based off of prosperity. But what this is going to do is make it so that your fiefs, when taken, or when they take somebody else takes the fief, they're going to instantly get those militia to make it just a little bit harder for the AI to see. Always remember, though, that militia are dependent on loyalty. If you have less than 25 loyalty, your militia do not fight. They are citizens that from your town or your castle, and if you have less than 25, they're going to be angry enough that they will not fight in a battle. So always make sure to watch out for your loyalty. When you do siege, Tailworld has stated that simming for defense has changed and they have actually lowered it. It used to be right around a 2 KDR in favor of the defenders. Now, let me state that in simming, how many siege equipment everybody has up will also play a huge role in the sim. I do not have final numbers on it yet because it does require a ton of testing. But if we do send our troops in here, we have almost a 2-to-1 advantage. If we let this go, we actually lost it. They had 30 left over. They took out our 750. We took out 418. It was just under a 2 KDR, which I think we would have won had we not had those 2 catapults up. So getting rid of siege equipment is very important in a sim battle, but it appears like it was reduced just slightly. Tailworld said that they made improvements to certain performance within the game. The one thing I have noticed is I have noticed a bit more pausing, especially when troops would flee, than what they had been in 1.2.4. In fact, in the very heavy resource of sieging, I have noticed it even greater. To some that I thought the game was actually going to crash. I have a pretty good system in which I only run about 40% of my resources. And I had a couple sieges where I thought I was done for. So there is obviously something going on with sieges. So if you get some pausing during fighting while you're in the game on 1.2.5, I think that that is something going on inside the game itself. I don't think it's so much going to be you unless they changed it where a lot more resources are required. So if you see pausing, it is something I definitely have seen myself. Tailworld also stated that they will notice that higher tiers will fight better than lower tiers. It's something I've been talking about with block chance for a long time now, and how annoying it is that peasants and recruits can really block you over and over again. So they specifically mentioned tournaments to go ahead and gauge this by, as it'll be easier in the first rounds and harder in the later rounds as the really good people make it to the end. So I haven't noticed a huge difference. Maybe I could say I noticed a little bit of it, but the AI still does have a crazy block percentage. But hopefully that is true, as it would make more sense that higher tiers are going to be able to do much better against you. So here's a change that I cannot wrap my head around. I don't know if this is intended or if it's a bug. It seems to happen more with towns. When you first start going after a fief, you're going to start setting up your siege. Right from the start, they're going to instantly build siege equipment. And I mean instantly build it. You're going to watch this right here and see how fast this is going to happen. And I'm going to show you the entire siege because there's a reason for this. Watch how fast these get built. It seems like they already have them pre-made and that they are stashed. But here we go on regular fast Bannerlord speed. Done. That quickly. I don't know what's going on with that. To me, it almost feels a little bit like a bug, but I'm not exactly certain. What happens now when you go ahead and put these in reserve and then you go ahead and place them, like what happened with the AI, there's going to be a little bar showing the progress of when you bring them back out. So once we get these built, then they're going to be placed and go after theirs. But you're going to notice something that is going to happen when we go ahead and do this. As we destroy the equipment, they're still going to build it super fast. But the more we build and the more we destroy, the more the AI will take longer to actually get their siege equipment going. So here's what I'm going to show you why it makes a difference. We're going to now put these out, and you'll watch, it'll take a moment for ours to deploy. Boom, like theirs. It took a little bit to deploy. Now, as I destroy these, watch how fast they get built. Instantly, a little bit slower, almost instantly, slower. And now watch it start to slow down. You're going to see it here in just a moment. It's going to actually start to take them normal amount of time to build. See how it's getting slower? And slower. I have no clue why that is happening. Now it's down to normal build speed. And like I said, it happens, there seems to be more with towns than castles for some reason. I don't know what it is. I'm assuming that it's a bug of some type, as I had noticed a little bit of this in actually 1.2.4. So I think it's something that got introduced, but Tailworld hasn't either explained it or there is a bug. Here is another potential issue that I have found, and you need to watch out for if you are using ladders instead of towers. Now, you will see the ladders that are sitting right down there. I can already tell that the AI will be putting up those ladders. If you, I just got hit. That was really nice to get hit like that. And same thing here. You could see that the AI will put up those ladders. How you can tell is the enemy AI is waiting for them. If you enter a siege and you see that there is nobody there, it is a bug in the game. And you need to manually place one ladder to activate it. If you don't, your troop will stand out here in the distance and do nothing. As soon as you walk up to a ladder, you walk up to the base of it and you just hold the F key and it will put the ladder up. As soon as you put one ladder up, your guys will then come over to put the second ladder up and start climbing. At that time, the AI will also come over here to defend it. So when you enter a fief, watch out if you're using ladders and you see no troops on the walls where the ladders are at. That is going to tell you it is bugged. You just need to raise one ladder to fix that issue. So in my testing that I have done so far, this is what I have come up with. A lot of information, some good, some bad, some critical, that I think you needed to know. And that's why I went ahead and made this video, because 1.2.5 has changed a few mechanics that I think you really need to know. I hope this helped you guys out, and let's hope that this is going to be stable enough to get over to the live branch and to you console people as soon as possible. If I find anything else out, I will let you know. As always, my friends, take care, and thanks for watching.